Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to BhagavatSanga program. This is our Śrīmad Bhāgavatam program where we read prayers of pure devotees. The current theme is prayers of King Satyavrata, and today is the last presentation of this theme, and we'll be starting with a new theme from next week. But with today's prayers, it's our fortunate that we get to hear from a wonderful devotee, her great Rohini Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji will be sharing the verses and realization.
Hare Krishna Veena Mataji, Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity and allowing me to present my realizations regarding the Satyavrata prayers. I will start with the prayers of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, since it is from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Shrunvatam Swakata Krishnaha Punyashravana Kirtanaha Hridiyantasto hi abhadrani Vidunote suhrutsatam Nashtaprayesu abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripatam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataran. First, I will recite the slokas quickly. These are very few only. This is from Canto 8 and chapter 24, from 46 to 53. These slokas are like Satyavrata Maharaj, after seeing a lot, out of gratitude and out of ecstasy, he offered these prayers to him, to the Lord. Sri Rajovacha Anadi Avidyopahatatma Samvidhas Tanmula Samsara Parishramaturaha Yadrichayopasratayam Apnuyur Vimuktido Nah Paramo Gurur Bhavan. Text 47. Jano Budo Yam Nija Karma Bandanaha Sukhechaya Karma Samihate Sukham Yad Sevayatam Vidunoti Asanmati Granitim Sa Bindya Dridayam Sano Guru. Text 48. Yad Sevayagner Ivarudra Rodanam Puman Vijahyan Malam Atmanastamaha Bhajeta Varnam Nijam Esa Sobhyayo Bhuyad Sa Isa Paramo Gurur Guru. Next 47. Nayad Prasadaya Yuta Bhagalesam Anye cha Deva Guravo Jana Swayam Krutam Sameta Prabhavanti Pumsas Tam Ishwaram Tvam Sharanam Prapadye. Text 50. Achaksur Andhasya Yata Granih Kritas Tatha Janasya Viduso Budho Guru Tvam Arkadrug Sarvadrisam Samiksano Bruto Gurur Naswagati Bubuta Satam. Text 51. Jano Janasyadi Sate Satin Gati Yaya Prapadyeta Duratyayam Tama Tvam Tva Avyayam Janam Amogham Anjasa prapadyate yenanjano nijam padam. Text 52. Tvam sarvalokasya suhrut priyesvaro he atmagurur janam abhista siddhi tathapi loko na bhavantam andhadi janati santam hrudi baddha kamaha. Text 53, last one. Tvam tvam aham deva varam varenyam prapadhyai pratibodhanaya chindyartha bhagavan vachubir grantin hrudayan vivarnasvayam lokaha. These prayers, why Supreme Lord appeared in and guided Satyavrata Maharaj, like that is what in these prayers we need to understand. Supreme Lord actually sometimes he comes from his spiritual world, since he knows that in this conditional, in this material world, all conditioned souls, they have a problems like, till their lives. And like so, but his duty, he wants to appear material world to protect dharma and for his devotees and for to kill the demons and their consciousness. He guide the conditioned souls in the form of the spiritual master or sometimes directly. So this time, like Krishna came in the form of a fish incarnation to protect the Vedas from the demon Hayagriva. This was happened in Satya and then Chaksusha Manu time, duration time. Like there was one king, like a king Satyavrata, and the story, like the Lord appeared in the small fish, like when he went for the regular ritual, spiritual practice in the morning times. Then the king found that the fish in his hands. Then he protected, like he wants to protect the small jiva, and he brought it to the kingdom, and then he keep it in the jug, and then it grows like and in a few days, like it it was like a big as a jug. And then again king, like thought like he grew, and then he thought he kept it in a one pond, and then again the fish grew like as a pond size, and again king put it him into the river, and again this fish again began to grow as a river size. Then he realized that like, this fish is not an ordinary fish, and then he obeyed that, like supreme lord himself came in the form of a fish, and he asked what he can do. Then supreme lord show like the reason why he showed in these different powers to lord to the king means like he wants to show his powers, and then he wants to guide the king also, that after all um, I mean that before annihilation started, like um, Lord wanted to protect the king, and since he is a pious king and he follows as per dharma, like Sanatana Dharma way, and he protect the people also in his kingdom. So that's what, like Lord wants to protect the Satyavrata king, and then some rishis and some herbs and seeds and some other living entities also in one boat. And he wants to, he told to the king that like he's going to send the boat before annihilation starts. The same way the boat came, and then like all these the king protected rishis and seeds, herbs, and all living entities. He kept it in the boat, and like lord in the form of a fish incarnation, he protected. In this protection, after he was in the boat, like with all saintly persons, he uh, gave the prayer. He gave the prayers to the Lord out of affection, and these prayers are like the importance of guru, like how to identify if king is not a pious and a normal ordinary person, he cannot identify the supreme personality in the form of fish. So that is of course an ordinary people, lord give that lord cannot choose that ordinary people because to this kind of activity to save the people for the next yuga, first next month, next yugas. So Satyavrata Maharaj offered his prayers like that, like an above I recited, like in previously. I'm going to give my realization on from all these slokas, a few points, what I learned from this, what we need to do and implement to move on in our spiritual journey. Spiritual, I mean, spiritual master, like look like an ordinary human being, but spiritual master looks like an ordinary human being, but we need accept he is equal to Lord. The reason is the way spiritual master acts and speaks in every situation should be helping to the conditioned soul or the souls from the situation and connected them to the Lord, but not to connect him for his personal benefit. That way we need to understand the spiritual master. How to identify the spiritual master is for that question. So, and for karma kandas, it is very difficult to because they always get some happiness and some distresses in one after one, like in their lives. But they think that they can handle themselves, and or by taking some other help, like they wanted to solve that problems, or like whenever it comes. And happiness, they're very happy. They think that like they are doers. That is the reason happiness also. They deserve for the happiness. That is really avidya, because then that is real ignorance. Satyavrata is praying a Lord, that like Lord is the only one can remove all kind of this avidya, ignorance. What we are whatever the happiness is coming, whatever the distresses, we are not the reason, we are not the cause. That avidya we cannot identify by ourselves. That's what Maharaj is saying. So for karma kandas, what generally like either depressed or like when the distress comes, like either depressed or they cannot move, or like they leave that the problem like that. So but in practically all we need to do is to depend on the Lord is immediately, so that we won't be in the distress, like more distress. All the problem comes like, but we don't be in the distress when we depend on the Lord immediately. So that we can avoid the anxieties also. uh, the reason, like we don't why we get the problems or like happiness is, we general people like karma kandis are majority people, they won't understand, because we are the combination of sattva guna, rajoguna and tamoguna for the many births. But these gunas are very with these gunas, and we with our limited knowledge, we do some are correct and some of the uh, incorrect actions in the past. Those past actions, correct or incorrect, Those are all imprints in our minds. So that way our minds are contamination. Like, that way, like, and even for small problems also we feel like more distress. That is ignorance. That is because of ignorance, and that is because of contamination of many janmas. So that kind of gunas we cannot go by gnana or by karma or by yoga in one time, like in our one lifetime, after we realize also, because it's many janmas and there is no resource like which is correct. What we are doing is, it's all because of a previous parents, or like parents, or like or other guna, I mean other guna, other gunas influences also we do. That way we may contaminate majority time. So better to ask for the higher conscious, better help for the, look for the help for the higher consciousness, so that that is nothing but like a Lord Bhagavan or his representative. That way we won't stuck in that with anxiety. So in few verses, like Maharaj is mentioning, Satyavrata Maharaj is mentioning that higher conscious of us means, generally, like in a higher conscious means karma kandis, they go to the demigods or like general gurus, because like immediately we want to get rid of that problem. That is the only thing we see, but we never notice that, like, oh, this problems are coming, like, because of that we are feeling stress or distress, like in whatever that reason. That kind of thought we don't, it won't come for karma kandis. We generally go for the demigods, and for particular to satisfy the demigods we go to the general guru, like, to do the rituals and to get out of that problems temporarily. And all these demigods or gurus, whatever the rituals they guided us, when we do together or individually also, that mercy is not equal to the mercy shown by the Lord, like in a Lord Vishnu or a Krishna, like or in the direct, in the indirect form of the representative, like a guru. Because um whatever the Vishnu, or like, when we reach Lord Vishnu or Krishna, that is always related to dharma only, so that our contaminated uh, consciousness will free from that consciousness, like, polluted consciousness, so that we will be in the dharma way, not like by doing the puja or yajna. That is temporarily problems will solve, but again desires will come, again problems, like, if it is more than that, our desire or more greedy or anything, we will definitely we will be in trouble. That way we will be in stress, on distress. Again we will go to do some puja or some yajna and remove. But once we reach the Lord Vishnu or Krishna, we will permanently remove our ignorance, avidya, and contamination also. So that gives, like, satisfaction of life, like, something, whatever, like, anxiety, that kind of because of the problems, that we will free from those issues. And then when we are doing continuous dharma way, like, we will continuously we'll do dharma until our end of the life, like we will go to the back to Godhead also after our death. These kind of results are not comparable with the ordinary or ordinary general gurus, or like material gurus or demigods, which they give, like, results which are very temporary and not comparable also. Because there is no anxiety when we, like, we will free from the anxieties when we pray to the Lord Krishna. For that permanent, to come out of that kind of problems permanently, all we need to take a shelter from a true spiritual master, which is very challenging in this subtle, which is very challenging in the subtle way in Kali Yuga in these days, because there is so much cheating propensities in Kali Yuga, as in this Kali Yuga, like, that is the major weak point. So to avoid that, we need to take shelter of the spiritual master. For already we are in a blind, and we are already completely ignorance, right? Like a blind man. So how the blind man cannot see another blind person as a leader, the same way we cannot we do if we don't know the purpose of the life as a main priority, then we may get the chances to choose the fool guru. So which they show the magics and temporarily, and they attract us. But we need to avoid those kind of we should not attract those kind of magics, like which they show. Those are all material temporary um, attractions only. But the real problems, like when problems comes, nobody will not help. Like we are the only one has to handle, or we need to look for the help. But how many times we are going to like depend on others? Like these dependents also, they are also blind, or they don't have a complete knowledge on in everything. They don't know how to do completely in every problem. So they are also they are all, everybody is a temporary. They give temporary solution for some extent for any problem. To avoid that dependency on the material people, material conscious, so all we need to depend on the spiritual true spiritual guru. So we need to then how to identify the spiritual guru, like who is the true person. All we need to be patience and positive, like hope for the future, that we need to observe the persons. Like though he is in a guru position, we need to observe that person. Is he really following what he is preaching? Is he really simply looking and high thinking, as our grandparents, as our parents said, like sannyasis, they give up everything and they live a perfect life as dharma, as Lord says, till their life, and they guide other varnashrama people also. That kind of mercy should come from the like Lord. And that way our intelligence should act like with patiently and select the gurus, like before approaching them. And we need to be that whatever the instructions or the process they are leading, like they are guiding us, like we need to be is it really, like we need to observe, like when we are following that, is it making ours as a material anxiety in a money wise, material body safety and health wise, and is it really increasing our sense gratification? These are all like a sense gratification. Again and again we will be in the same loop. That again stress, like distress will come, like when you are in the sense gratification mood only, like whatever the process given by the gurus when we choose. So then there is no point of choosing that kind of gurus. So uh, so we need to we need to be very careful um, and pay and be patient, like while selecting the gurus. um, since these kind of problems, any problems, good or bad, whatever in our lives, like it comes due to our gunas, and these are all created by Supreme Lord only through his like agencies, because we need to come to his we need to take his shelter. That is the reason, like the time comes, like Lord gives like a major problems which we cannot handle, our surrounding people cannot help. That way, like Krishna wants us to take his shelter through his representative, and he guides also. Like all we need to be patient, as I said, like every time patience is, and with hope we need to hear. Like when it is not clear also, we need to take pause. And when it is not clear about the guru, when we are approaching, when we are in the karma kanda state, karma kandis, like then mm, when we lose our patience or hope, then again due to our desires and anxiety, we may choose another wrong step. to avoid that, patience is the most important. These kind of speculations also, we all kind of these who is the right one, who is not, all these are speculations only. This will remove by meeting the right guru, and it is very difficult. But Satyavrata Maharaj is saying that uh, this is a very unique point, for the karma kandis, it's very difficult to catch up this point also. Like the guru always directs instruction, as in Bhagavad Gita, in every situation and everyone, and for any problem, the guru should direct the the karma kandis, or whoever is approaching to him, he must give the instructions which are related to Bhagavad Gita. And these instructions leads to the Bhagavan. We need to, he must be directed directly to the Bhagavan, Krishna, who spoke Bhagavad Gita. So that way we need to identify that was Maharaj, Satyavrata Maharaj is guiding us, and he himself got direct association of the Lord. So since he is a pious king, he did from many janmas, he utilized that whatever is a human life, he used that opportunities, and he used majority time he become a king, means it's not easy, and that too pious king means he is doing by himself, and he is guiding the same way, with the way Lord guided for him. So that is the reason he became king. So he is giving the direct instructions that whoever gives the direct association of the Krishna's message only is the representative of Lord, and he is the true spiritual guru. That's what Maharaj is guiding us. And whoever having a strong desire to doing wanted to do prescribed duties in the righteous way, will automatically identify with the patiently the bona fide guru who comes in the parampara, as Satyavrata Maharaj mentioned. That way they can understand the eternal goal of soul, his identity and with the Lord, and he follows guru's instructions strictly and continuously, and slowly he will understand what are the true dharma, what he need to do when he is living in the human form and on this earth. And his aim should be a move forward in the spirituality as per guru's instructions. So, and mainly he must he will come to the conclusion that he is a part and parcel of the Lord, and he cannot maintain his own body even in the human form also, without anxiety, if you don't follow the dharma. If we away dharma, means righteous things of what to do. There are so many dharmas, that is a big subject. We do, in interest of time, I'm skipping this part. And all we need to do, even to maintain our body, and to come out of from this birth and death, this diseases, and all these problems, when you follow actual dharma, that means serving the Lord, and whatever the needed, we need to do, which are given by the Lord, that that we need to do as per dharma, not greedy, or not attract anything and not distract anything. Otherwise we will again in the fall in the loop of distress only. So when we are with the touch with the spiritual guru, actual spiritual guru, our duty is to follow his instructions strictly and continuously, so that we will move slowly. So with lovingly and with serving mood. This is what my realization. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. That was such a wonderful class. Thank you so much. And you so nicely highlighted about the guru and how important it is to have a guru and what is the mood of the guru. And few points from the class that you presented. Beautifully recited the verses, Mataji. Very nice presentation. And you also gave us the background of King Satyavrata. So the main point is we should not consider guru as ordinary, and we should be very careful of cheating gurus. If we want to progress, if we want to progress in Krishna consciousness, then we have to take shelter of the guru. And by taking, when we depend on the Lord, He will take care of us and He will remove the anxiety. There's so many other, mysticisms and magics that there are people out there, but what we have is authentic and coming from disciplic succession. So that is very important. Thank you, Mataji. That was such a wonderful class again. Devotees, thank you all for joining the BhagavatSanga program today. We are starting with a new theme from next week. So request all of you all to please sign up for it. With that, we conclude the program. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.